Hi, I'm Kelsey Zeiser. I'm a senior editor at Light Reading, and we're here at the Big 5G event in Denver. I'm joined by Katibeh with AT&T, who delivered a keynote yesterday. I'm so glad to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a fantastic event so far, and so good to see eyeballs and other humans in real life.
Yeah, it is really nice to see people in person versus over Zoom and get out of our sweatpants and put on some real clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Professional tops and
bottoms.
Exactly. Yes.
So enjoyed your keynote yesterday.
Thank you.
Would love to hear more about what AT&T is doing to improve the 5G customer experience. So tell us a little about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So start with availability. Right, in 2020, we achieved 200 million people, POPs, covered with our sub-6 5G. And across the last year, we've been able to expand that out from 200 to 250 million people across 500 markets. So very broad availability. And then to build on that, what we did is we said, look, we want everyone to have access to it. So we made it part of every single one of our unlimited plans for all of our customers at no additional charge. And then there's more, right? Over the last few years, we've been really focused on deploying all of our spectrum, and we've doubled the amount of spectrum that's available for use by our customers. That, with continuing to build out new cell sites across America, has led us to having both the most reliable as well as the largest mobile network in the US. And it's really all of those factors together that's giving rise to some of the cool experiences that you heard us talk about yesterday and you're seeing around the showroom floor.
Yeah, definitely. And so speaking of that build out, can you talk a little how AT&T's fiber and 5G build out is supporting the efforts to close the digital divide?
Yeah, absolutely. So, to your point and the way you articulated, the digital divide is really about how you bring all of your network assets to support and bridge to a better future for everybody. And one of the things that we've done that I'm incredibly proud of is over the last few years, we've committed over $1 billion towards closing the digital divide, and we re-upped that and we said, look, across the next 3 years, we're going to commit $2 billion. And that's going to come to life in a few different ways. First and foremost, it's about building a future where there's low cost, affordable, sustainable broadband access for the people, right? And then beyond that, just charitable contributions. We're standing up facilities to local community centers where people can go and do their homework, et cetera. And then, prior to my current role in AT&T Network, I was in AT&T Business, and one of the things we were doing there, which I think is incredibly important as well, is working directly with school districts across America that really know who the kids are that need the most help, and providing them with hotspots that can be used as Wi-Fi signals to allow kids to be able to do their homework and really close not just the digital divide but also the homework gap. So no matter where they happen to be during the day or in the evening, they've got access to broadband using mobility assets and can do their homework. So those are some of the ways, and it's just such an incredibly important area, I think, not just for AT&T but as a country for all of us to focus on.
Right, and especially now with so many kids learning on Zoom at home, and like you said, having that capability to have the technology that they need to do their homework and not just have it in the classroom, but also have it accessible in the home. So that's great to hear. We also heard some really interesting use cases from you yesterday. Yeah. I have to say I did enjoy the vineyard use case for connected agriculture.
Yes.
You also talked about healthcare and then some really neat AR learning capabilities. So maybe give us a few highlights of some of those use cases.
So to your point, in preparation for coming out to this wonderful event, I was looking at some of the real 5G use cases that we're bringing to life, both in the enterprise space as well as in the consumer space. And one that I thought would resonate quite well with this audience, because a lot of the emails I get from the people here about having a glass of wine in the evening, was about something that we're doing with a very large producer of wine. And so if you think about the vineyard, they're a beautiful place to go visit, and you can walk around and experience how wine is made. But from an operational perspective, you know, as we're working with this customer, we were understanding what they go through every single day. Workers that are walking miles every single day to go look at sensors, and to look at tanks, and to manually write down information from them. And then that information was needing to be logged into their databases. And one of the issues that they were running into was just, you know, manual error. And that manual error was leading to, you know, what I'm sure we can agree is a mission critical issue, which was wasted wine. And you know,
don't want that.
You don't want that, right? Nobody wants that. And so we've worked with them to deploy a cellular umbrella that covers the vineyard, as well as an edge compute solution. And then the way that's now coming to life is sensors in the soil that are looking at things like pH balance and automatically reporting back. Connected irrigation systems about water and usage, and making sure, you know, optimal watering of the vineyard. And then connected tanks where the actual fermentation is happening. So you put all those pieces together, the operational outcomes that this business is now experiencing is higher yields, lower operational costs, and significantly reduced amounts of wasted wine. And then just again back to, you know, doing good for the world. All of this also translates into improved carbon, right? And just, you know, it's technology for good. It's absolutely fantastic. And then on the purely consumer side of it, you know, the example that I talked about yesterday is a company called Bookful that is a leader in experiential XR and AR. And what they've done is they've got this huge library of books on their application. And if you're an AT&T user, you can go out and download this app from the App Store. It will automatically recognize you as an AT&T subscriber. It'll give you a 6-month free subscription to it. And then the images jump off the page. It's really about using AR and XR so that instead of just reading kind of, you know, flat words and flat images, it brings these stories to life across all these hundreds of books. And you know, my daughter and I love it. She's 6 years old, and you know, she's really ramping up her reading. And now, instead of just reading a book, she's got contextual clues. It's exciting, and my biggest challenge is just trying to get her to go to sleep now.
Right.
So it's
I was going to
really
say,
cool.
you can get the bedtime routine rolling of, oh, we're going to check out this really cool story,
Exactly.
but then going to sleep, I can imagine, would
Yeah.
be difficult. So I'll have to check that out for my monthly book club.
Yes, indeed. I think you're going to really like it. And you know, just to build on that, and you know, a comment that I made during the keynote yesterday, and I put out to the audience today as well, is we're really continuing to evolve the 5G application ecosystem. If you think about LTE and what it brought over 3G, it's these smartphones becoming the remote controls of our life. It's drive mapping systems that, like magic, would know where you're going and how long it was going to take to get there, and the gig economy and all of these cool tools that we all now is just part of our daily routines. And with 5G and Bookful, it's just such a fantastic example of things that build on LTE and make it way better. And if there's, you know, watchers out there and you're with a company that's doing really cool things that can take advantage of these unique capabilities of 5G, reach out. We'll get you connected to our 5G ecosystem and innovation team, and love to see innovation coming to life.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Mo.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
It's great seeing you.
You too.